What's up, Sunshine Community? I'm your boy Paper Ario, joined by Briguy, and welcome to the first ever Pape Recap Show. Super original
Hello.
idea, I know.
Yeah, how did you come up with this paper? This
You
is
know,
brilliant. Thank you
Briguy,
for having me.
I was just sitting down one day and I was like, the Pape Recap Show, and now we're
Wow.
here.
Wow. Amazing.
I
Amazing.
know, I'm talented. What can I say?
Well, I see it says introductions in the bottom corner. So who are you, paper? What is
Well,
this?
I'm Paper Ario. I speedrun this game a lot.
Hmm.
Um, Currently in this row control tournament hosted by Bry Guy, sitting right next to me, or not sitting next
Crazy.
to me, but yeah. Um, yeah, I play the game a lot. I'm just a dude ready to talk some bingo.
Awesome.
Um,
Awesome.
but yeah, so let me tell you guys what's in store. Bry Guy and I were gonna go through all the matches that have happened so far, except for the matches that have happened this week. So we're talking about winners round 1 and 2, and then the actually not even that one match. But yeah, winners round 1 and round 2 pretty much.
Right.
Um
Losers round one as well.
yep. And
Or yes.
kind
That's
of
right.
kind
Kind
of.
of.
And then we're going to end off today by just like discussing some topics. So we'll get to those when we get to those. But I think for now, let's just go on ahead and jump into talking about some matches.
Yeah, sounds good. So if you all want to follow along, you can exclamation mark bracket in the chat. We're just gonna be going in order here. But yeah, what's first here, paper? What do we got?
All right, so this first match is RSW v Pogo. Um, we didn't get the
Indeed,
colors on
RS.
screen, but
Yeah, RSW's purple in this.
mhm.
Things to do for next time.
Thanks. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So
So
let's just take a look at this card, right? So,
all right, like when you're looking at a card like this, what are you looking for?
uh,
So I guess maybe should we do a row control? Do people know what row control is?
I guess we can talk about it real quick. You can go for it real quick. Go
All
for it,
right.
bad guy.
Well, you're trying to get control of 3 rows on this bingo card, and to get control of a row, you need 3 goals in a row. So on this card, RSW, who is purple, has control of rows 2, 3, and 4. So that's why he won. And Pognator has control of row 5.
Mhm. Okay, so a couple things about this match. So both players started in Bianco. Um,
Hmm.
so RSW and Pogo, they both went to Bianco. Um,
Interesting.
but they did some different things there, what it looks like. So
Yeah.
Pogo got the enemies and the rocket, um, and RSW was looking towards like the bosses, Pinna, and you can kind of see that in his route how he got the 3 red
Right.
coins, which tied in with
4
like 3 from
bosses.
4,
Yeah.
4 bosses, which didn't end up mattering, but
This card in particular has just some interesting options, right? It's got the Bianco start that's really good between 2 rockets, 5 enemies, 3 reds, like 4 bosses, versus like Delfino shines. There's 9 and 10, and like Pinna seems pretty good. You get like Pinna 3 hoverless. You're first to Noki. You get 25 shines. There's cannon moles.
where's 10
So
from Plaza? Where's 10 from
yeah,
Plaza?
9 and 10 from Plaza. Rows 4 and 5. So
Ah,
interesting, like that they both opted for Bianco here and sort of took different ways about it.
mm-hmm. Uh, yeah. I'm trying to look like I like the row 3 that RSW got. I'm looking at it.
Yeah,
I think that
that's real
was
nice.
um when did he go to
So
Pinna? Or not
yeah,
Pinna,
I guess
Serena. Because I'm looking at that 100 coin right now and I'm a little interested by it.
yeah, huh. So I guess maybe you went to Serena 4 for that. Yeah, I don't know.
Possibly. It might have been that.
Uh, Yeah, I think part of the problem in this match was that RSW has a nice speed advantage over Poginator, and so like the 25 shines that might have been contested otherwise, or like It could have just gone towards RSW. But it looks like row 4 is really where the battle happened,
Hmm.
and I feel like Poganator maybe should have been able to get the secrets, but it's hard to say without knowing like their exact routes. Maybe that's what the Sereno came in for from RSW, finishing off those secrets.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the good things that Serena has in this format is it's really good for secrets.
Right.
When you see like maybe like 4 secrets and 4 from Serena, both of those go pretty well together
Yeah, I
with like
do
a
feel like Serena is just such a huge time investment though that like in row control or in 1v1, it's really hard to justify that at
uh-huh.
least super early on. Like in the 2v2 tournament, Serena whenever was just
It
so strong.
it was very strong because you could have one player commit to that and then you have one other part of your team that like was focusing on shines or literally anything else and like
Yeah,
it would work out.
yeah.
But
But
yeah,
in this format, it's a lot harder to justify like going all the way through Manta and then all the way through Serena 2 plus the 2 Serena whenevers, and then you can finally start getting some good stuff out of there.
yeah, exactly. Um, but
Yeah,
yeah.
but yeah, this match looks like RSW took it fairly convincingly. Just sort of had a lead most places, and
Hmm.
slight contention for row 4 there, but
Yeah, I'd agree on
yeah.
that. All right,
All right,
let's
moving
just keep
on.
going. So this next match, Reed versus Yato. So if you guys were here for this match, a lot
Oh
of
dear.
interesting things happened to say the least.
Yeah, yeah. This kicked off the tourney. First match of the tourney here.
Oh wait, hang on. There's one thing we did miss. So Larvy versus Matt
Oh, true.
happened, but that match was not restreamed. Um, but I think the only thing that needs to be talked about is Larvy got, I think it was a 9-0. So
Yeah, that's a
it
rough,
was it was pretty bad.
rough one.
But
But
yeah. Anyways,
mhm.
Reed versus Yato. So there's actually like a
Yeah,
pretty
this was
decent amount to
interesting.
talk about. So on this card, there was like a really strong Rico synergy.
Hmm.
Because you have the 6 shines from Rico, the 2 hiddens there, the 9 from the level,
Yep.
um, so anything, and the six
Uh,
bosses.
yeah, 6 bosses. Like maybe an argument for blue coin. No, not as strong. But yeah, hundreds from
Oh,
Rico
hundreds
also
from Rico.
row 3. Yeah,
But yeah, I remember Brad Guy and I, we were commentating this and we saw that Rico is really strong, and
yeah.
neither player started Rico. Uh,
Oh, I don't think Reed ever touched it. Like honestly.
no, he did at the end because he got 5 enemy blue coins.
Oh, okay, okay.
But yeah, uh,
Yeah, I think like Mr. Yato had a real shot at this match.
mhm,
Like it was a lot closer than it should have been given Reed's speed.
mhm. Yeah, Reed was definitely playing pretty subpar during this match.
Yeah,
But yeah, Yato actually had like a really solid chance to take this one
yeah.
because
The
he
the last goal clicked on this card was 5 link pair, and if Yato had taken that, like he's set up for row or like he wins row 2, he's got 9 shines from Rico, or he can take it,
mhm.
and then it's pretty set up for all the others, or at least like has row 4 and can fight for row 3.
Yeah, I forget.
So
Did he? Because he did something instead of going for like 5 and 8 lengths. Because I remember we were pointing that out. Like he could have
yeah,
done those 2 goals instead of doing maybe like the extra bosses or something, or maybe Bianco Shadow Mario.
yeah, I can't remember what he was going for, but if he had switched to links at the right time, like he could have taken this.
Hmm. Which would have been quite the early upset.
Yeah. Worth
Um,
noting that Reed was having some struggles. Those 20 blues at Noki and the 100 coin shine from Noki did not go as well as Reed might have hoped,
mhm.
but he got them done.
He did get them done. Um, but yeah, Yato like put up like an okay fight despite
Right?
like Reed was having an off day, but he was that close.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
I don't know how much that would have changed the bracket though. It would have given Larvy? No. Yeah, it would
Yeah,
have given
yeah.
Larvy a
Larby
much
would have,
easier
right.
pass to
Well, and
fight
then
me.
Reed being like a high seed at that position in the bracket and losers would be kind of crazy.
Hmm. Very much so.
But More on that later. High seeds being in losers. What?
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. We will get to that.
Yeah. I would play a highlight here, but Braga and I, or more so I, was not perfectly prepared for this, so there are no highlights. But there's a
Sounds good.
there's Yato was in Mecha Bowser, and he exited early, which might have actually
Uh,
made a big difference because he exited
True.
early, and then he watched the cutscene the second time, and like it was at least what like a 7 minute time loss or something like
Oh,
that.
something like that.
And you
Yeah.
know, in
He
those,
missed the second cutscene, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
missed
like
this. Yeah.
that's the 2 minute long, 2.5 minute long cutscene. It's bad. You
Hmm.
don't want to do that.
And you know, in that time, he like could have picked up the links and
Yeah, he
probably
was
taken
in
it.
Pinna and just like didn't do it.
Hmm.
Yep.
But yeah, that that was that match. A lot
Hmm.
closer than it probably should have been.
Right.
Um, but let's move on. So we have Linky Mason. So this one
Hmm.
was kind of an upset.
So
Um,
Linky being yellow, Mason being green.
that's correct.
Yeah, this one was definitely an upset. I'd say
Hmm.
like Linky was, he's known as a really strong bingo player. Um, Sort of hasn't been playing Sunshine as much recently, but I think yeah, Mason just maybe sort of caught him off guard here with a better route. Linky's issue, I think, maybe was not being as familiar with row control. Like he really focused down one row at a time rather than trying to look for synergy across the card.
Hmm. Um, yeah, because I think I remember like Linky started off by like almost completing row two.
Yeah, he like
Um,
got the hiddens and the reds and was really just focused on that. He could have had bells, like he was set up for it.
Bells.
I think.
Was Bell? Where's? Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Bell.
both
Yeah,
bells in
which
the
would have
row.
saved him having to do like 4 or 5 shines or something like that.
Yeah, he could have skipped the red coins and just done bells instead. Right, like he was going to Serena. Oh, I guess he wanted the reds for
He wanted
six
the
reds.
reds.
Yeah, but like yeah, it was just too focused on those two rows and not on like the three from four. That was really crucial in deciding this match. Like
Yeah,
Lakey just needed one more row, and
that
like
is very true because you know
yeah,
likely row four was his.
yeah,
Um,
certainly.
and you know it really came down to that row three, and he had 28 shines.
Hmm.
Um,
I think also Linky had the three from four, but didn't realize it or like delay clicked it.
did he?
I seem to remember that happening. I think I commentated this match or at least part of it,
Hmm.
and that was a turning point. Like the two hits in Gelato was his third world or like fourth world. He had like Bianco, Pinna, Rico, maybe, and or Serena and Gelato.
That doesn't make
But
sense. Like looking at his route, although maybe.
yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Hmm. Not entirely sure on that one. But all right, I'll believe it.
Yeah, like
Um.
Mason was right behind. Like it would have been a snipe.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, I mean that's that match.
Yeah. It looked. I'm
Pretty
looking at like
standard.
row three, and I'm guessing Mason kind of had like an early game start of like two rockets with like Bianco four floodless, which played really
Yeah,
well into bosses,
exactly.
and then it just put him really up on that row
Hmm.
because with the bosses, like you get Rico one done, which like is really good because you know you get the boss and Rico's a fast world, so
Yeah, true. But Linky was going for more of a shine rush, which like seemed to pay off with the 25 and 28 shines, looking pretty strong. Like late game was pretty good on this card. Pin a
mhm.
three hoverless, both bells. They also nobody did pin a three hoverless for a very long time.
Oh, I think I do remember that also.
Yeah. All
All
right.
right. This next match was Guy versus Nurgesh.
Okay.
Um,
Guy in yellow here.
Guy in yellow.
Pretty
Pretty one-sided, I would say.
yeah.
Um, Guy just had like free reign. So Nurgish basically started with these 100 coins, right? He did 100 in a gelato. Keep in mind, he didn't do it in a secret either. He just did
No.
like 100 in gelato.
It's
Um,
true. He was going for the 15 blues with it, but
that is true.
yeah, a guy got in there, beat him to it, and then
Hmm.
that really set Nurkic back.
And the thing was, Guy didn't even start with gelato. He started with Pianta. He
Yeah,
went all the way through Pianta and then went back to gelato and still
yeah,
won the 15 and two hittens.
it's true. Like all the way through Pianta.
Hmm.
All it's up to Shadow Mario. And I believe Nurkic was rushing Gelato. Like it was just Delfino Shines to get there.
Yeah,
So I think just the speed difference is coming into play here. Like this was a pretty one sided match.
yeah. I will say, so we're like looking at the Pianta play, and it really helped Guy, right? Because it set him up for his seventh bird.
Hmm.
And I don't Pianta. There's no way Pianta 1 through 7's faster than Bianco 2 through 5, right?
No.
No, but it's still like it's not that much longer. You're talking maybe like 2 3 minutes, and you're getting that seventh bird. Plus, you have 5 and defeat Shadow Mario on there.
Yeah,
So,
and you've got the like shine lead, or
hmm,
you're definitely getting more shines like per time.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was Pianta was a really good play on this card from Guy. I liked it a lot because getting to Pinna for Pinna 5 hoverless and having Gelato open were really important here. Goldbird and Cannon Moles, like late game was really good.
Hmm. And then he just had free reign over that because of Shine Lead,
Yeah,
which is like we'll talk about Shine Lead more, but it's
true,
becoming
true.
it's becoming very relevant in the way row control is progressing. So,
Yeah, I think in an interesting way though. But yeah, more on that later.
hmm. All right, well that was Guy versus Nurgesh. This
Hmm.
was Deathline versus Adriel.
Very close match here. Another nail biter.
Yeah, Deathline almost got 5 rows.
Yeah. I think again, just another like issue of the speed difference. It's really hard to go against someone as fast
Hmm.
as Deathline if you just are not as comfortable with the game, right?
Yeah.
Especially like Deathline knows his bingo, knows how to do all the goals. So
Hmm. Yeah. Looking at this card though, it was like pretty interesting though,
yeah,
because you have things like 4 and 5 hiddens. You have the red coins, which combine with Bianco.
right. And then
Um,
Rico's got 6 shines, 8, 9 from a single level. Like, but they're all on different rows.
hmm. But it ended up working out well because Deathline was playing for 4 rows basically at this point.
Yeah, yeah,
And I mean, you could argue he was playing for row 5, but
right.
he didn't need to play for 5 rows. So,
Exactly. All right.
but yeah, let's move on. So this is one
Uh-huh.
of the big talking points of tonight. So this is
Oh
Blood versus
boy.
Libre.
Yeah, this was a match. This was definitely a match.
Hmm. Okay, so Libre started with the 2 rockets. Okay,
Yes.
and Bloodwell started with
Well,
the 4 floodless.
I guess maybe let's set up the beginning. Like, what's the early game on this card? Right, you got Bianco 4 floodless, 1 turbo, 2 rockets, 4 bosses are probably the big things you're thinking about. Like
Maybe four
right off the start
hiddens.
here, maybe 15 M's, yeah, and maybe 4 hiddens.
Hmm.
So like Bianco really strong, having a rocket, having floodless, having a boss, having a turbo. So both players start there, which is like fine.
Hmm.
But Blood Whale went for 4 floodless and Libre went for the rockets, but not with like the turbo trick.
Hmm.
Like just got the rocket, didn't even finish any shines, and left.
Yeah, and that was definitely like an interesting play. Like, if you were gonna leave anyways, like there was really no reason to not grab the turbo. It probably
Yeah,
just had to do
well,
with Libre not knowing the trick. I mean, granted, Libre won the row, but like
true.
if he had gotten 1 turbo, he could have skipped doing 7 birds,
Yeah.
which
And like he had to go back into Bianco, do the Bianco 4 shine that he skipped, right, to get the birds. So
exactly. So,
yeah.
um, but yeah, that's how
But
the
do
early
you
game looked on this card.
like if you do go all the way to turbo, right? Like I don't know how much faster or slower that is than just doing Bianco 4 floodless. Like would Libre even still have won the rockets if you went for the turbo? It's got to be pretty close.
What, like normally?
Yeah, like if you go get the turbo nozzle unlock, exit area, and then go to Rico, versus just doing Bianco 4 floodless and then going to Rico. Oh, I guess you have to get the rocket too. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So doing one rocket into turbo is definitely faster than doing the rocket
Yes.
into 4 floodless.
True. True.
So,
Yeah, so I think that could have been the play.
because like what the only play that beats that is like getting only the rocket, but even then, like you just lose out on a
Yeah.
lot of value then. Like,
Right. Well, that's what Libre did, I guess. Yeah.
hmm
So that was the first setback, but
yeah. Let me
let's see.
um yeah. I'm just
So what
taking.
else?
Also, so Libre was like very tunneled on row two. Like his first
Yes,
3 goals, row two. He got the
all
two
of them.
rockets into 4
Hmm.
bosses, and then he got lily pad.
Right, which is fine. 2 rockets to 4 bosses is great. Like
Yeah.
that's a great start. Puts a ton of pressure on your opponent.
hmm And it worked
But
out well too because Bloodwhale started, or not started, but like he did 100 coin from Pianta like super early on.
yeah, which I think is like not great on this card. It can't doing like a slow goal early on can be good in the row control meta. Maybe we'll come back to that later.
hmm
But on this card, the rest of that row was like not enough. I don't know. It
Yeah.
just didn't seem like it needed to
Especially,
happen that early.
well, I mean, you wouldn't really know or Libre was in Rico, but
Yeah.
um, and you know the thing is, it worked well with Bloodwell's route if he had gotten the 20 from Serena, but he just
Right.
never got 20 from Serena.
Yeah. But even then, like if he had the 20, right, it's still not enough rows. Like he needed to
Yeah,
win
he would have
something
needed to
else.
win more.
Yeah.
Um, so the other thing is Libre left pin a 5 from the back for like a pretty decent amount of time.
Yeah.
Like he did
He
not do
did
that
it.
early.
He
Like
did it not hoverless and then had to go back and do it hoverless, like at the end of the bingo. Because
yeah.
he wanted the butterflies.
Mhm. Oh, that is correct. He did want the butterflies. Yeah, Libre went
Yeah.
for butterflies like super early on.
Yeah.
It was a
That
very
was not
interesting
necessary.
play.
And row 5, like nobody touched anything there. Blood got 5 secrets, but 15 blues from M's was one of the last goals clicked. Pin a 5 from the back was one of the last goals, and I think 8 linked was the last goal.
Mhm.
I think if Blood had just redirected his focus from like either row 2 towards row 5, he could have won this match pretty easily.
Yeah, because you know it really just took him getting like 15 M's, and then you force Libre to have to do 100 coins
Yeah,
potentially.
right. And
Um,
then while Libre is doing hundreds, you like go get the shine lead back or something like that to win 25 and 28. I don't know.
I guess I'm just looking
Depends.
at it too. Like Blood probably could have done like 7 birds at some point, because like Libre didn't have as much progress in Bianco
Yeah,
as him. So,
true, true.
do I have any other things to say? Libre had a
Libre needs
fun.
to learn how to do Rico 8.
Yeah, that was a
But
very, very sketchy.
yeah, that's all
Uh,
right.
but yeah, this match is definitely worth like a rewatch. There was just a
Yeah,
lot of weird things that happened. Like Libre made some like really interesting decisions, and then Bloodwell tried to react to them, and then made even more interesting decisions, and it was quite the mess.
yes. But like a good mess, right? Like they
A
both
good mess, yeah.
played well, maybe struggled with some bingo strats like Rico 8 and like the 20 blues and Serena. But they're like both fast players, right? Like they know what they're
Exactly.
doing.
Mhm.
They like had ideas for how to route this bingo card, but maybe not the optimal route, right? Like
Mhm.
they were always going for something,
Yeah,
which I think was solid. It made it a really entertaining match to watch.
it was definitely entertaining. I'll give it that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right, next.
Next match: Cheddar versus Zophos.
This one
Uh.
was really interesting. I think the card doesn't tell the full story here.
Mhm.
So I guess this was maybe not the first, but we had a few goals that we had to unclick in the Reed Yato match. But this was the first major one
Yeah.
where Zophos thought he had 5 linked pairs, but unfortunately only had 4.5. And it took a while for the restream and commentary crew to realize. and that goal had to be reverted.
Hmm.
But up until that point, Zophos was looking like pretty solid, not set. Like the match was by no means over in his favor, but looking a lot closer to Chetty than you might have expected, given their seeds and how fast Chetty is.
Hmm. Yeah, like Zofos probably had like a pretty good route at the start. He had the 2 hidden in gelato, the 4 shines, and then he got the 5
Yep.
linked, right? And if that was in pin, or was that in pinna? You
Yeah, it
might,
was in Pinna.
yeah, if it was in pinna, that probably means he would have had Yoshi first, maybe.
I can't recall what he did after that,
But like if he got Yoshi
but
at that
yes.
point, then he could have. What did he know Yoshi for? There was something I was looking at. He could have gotten Serena 3 no clipping, and he could have got that row. You'd be up for defeat
Mm,
Shadow Mario. Um,
yeah,
you could
I
get
think he might have been
lives.
ahead for one from each as well until the whole thing happened. I'd have to look back at it again, but yeah, there were a lot more goals he could have contested, and I think unfortunately there was just like a bit of a mental game there too. Like once you lose a goal like that,
Hmm.
his gameplay definitely dropped off quite a bit.
Yeah,
That
because there
was
was another thing. So
tough.
Zophos had like a pretty big lead for like bosses and red coins, and then like just completely dropped off, and Cheddar got both of those things.
Yeah,
Which, like usually, like I mean, bosses and reds like can work together, but it's definitely not like a strong synergy. I would say
right.
like when you see red coins and like 2 hidden in gelato, Bianco goals, Pinna goals, that all tends to work out pretty well. But like
Hmm.
bosses and red coins, like they can work, right? But it's just not nearly as good.
Yeah, yeah, very true.
Um, but all in all, Cheddar just kind of washed up Zophos. Um,
Yeah, after that swap, and even without it, like I think Chetty was still set up best to win the card. But yeah, yeah,
mhm. He had 2 rockets, so he probably could have got 6 from Rico, and then he would have just
right.
needed one more goal in that row,
Yep.
which maybe could have been blue coins or lives
Yeah,
or.
blue coins were still because then that threatens row 4 as well, or row 5.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that is true. Row 5 would also
Yeah.
be an option.
All
Mm.
right.
All
What's
right,
next?
next match. So this was me versus RSW.
Okay.
Uh,
Yep.
and
This
all,
was just
yeah,
paper routed this well, and is just so much faster that he sort of got whatever he wanted.
I did paper things.
Yep.
Um, I think so. The one thing about this card that was like somewhat interesting, is like the 2 rockets and 5 blue coins synergy, which I think
Yes.
is like at least early on in the format that combination was coming up so much. Like it
Right.
was it was on a lot of percentage of cards.
Well,
Um,
this one's like even on another level with 7 blues in the same row as 2 rockets.
mhm,
So you could have. I think you opted for the gelato and pinna enemies, but you could have done like the Rico 4 enemy into the gelato enemy just to even be a little faster. Like,
mhm,
but once you get those 2 goals, you're just threatening so much. Like Rico 8, 10 blues from Serena, 3 from 4. You can go anywhere after that.
mhm. But yeah, this match I set up a lot of things and then I just ran around and got literally anything that I wanted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, there was like one funny thing though. So I started with 4 floodless and 4 bosses, and then I like almost immediately regretted that because I was like, well, now it means I have to either do 7 red coins, a lot of stuff in Rico, or 4 butterflies, and I was like, I don't want to do any of that.
That's true. Yeah.
So,
So you just switched off of it. Like,
but
even
it was
just getting
still,
those 2, though, like
yeah,
it just scares your opponent, right? Like they have to do all 3 of those,
if they want that,
or
or they have to win another row.
yeah, they have to win another row. And then if they just let you leave that row to the end, well, then at the end of the game, you're going to be able to clean up one of those 3 goals, right?
Hmm.
They're still not going to want to do all 3.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's
Um.
something that's just really strong in this format. Getting goals early is good.
Hmm. Like maybe like in specifically like so let's say you have like a really bad row and then it's like 3 fruit ladies, isn't it, or whatever, right? And you can go
Yeah.
do that at any point, and then that means your opponent has to do one more worse bad goal. That's
Hmm.
just like super important. Because even if they have to save it till the end, there's like probably like you can at least account for them having to do a worse goal, and then you can play
Right.
around that.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's the interesting thing in this is that it gets so contested that like by doing a goal, you're really forcing your opponent's hand, right? Like you're making them do other goals.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in a normal lockout, it's more like, well, I guess they can't do that, but now they can go do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree with that.
All right, what's next?
This is Larvey Reed.
Okay,
Uh
this was a match.
yeah, this match was actually like
Larvae in blue, Reed in red.
Larvey Blue, Reed Red. Um, so Reed had like a really weird start. So he like straight up rushed the two hidden in gelato.
Yes.
And I believe Briguy and I did you we commentate this? I know I commentated
No,
it.
you and Deathline.
Deathline did. But I remember Deathline and I were being super confused by that because it's like, I mean, it's okay, but when there was things like stuff in Bianco, enemy blue coins, rockets.
Yeah, we see the rockets and enemies again here.
Hmm.
I
Uh,
I think it's not terrible though because out of it you do get two hiddens and gelato. You're probably first to Noki, so you get those 10 blues. You're picking up linked pairs like 100 coin and Pinna. You're more set up for and eel.
yeah. But the
It
thing was,
locks up
Reed
two rows
like
pretty good.
didn't pick up the link coins. Like he got them eventually, but he didn't do
Yes.
that when he was in there.
Right.
Like if he had
Right.
done it when he was in there, that play, would have made like significantly more sense.
Exactly.
Um, but yeah, Larvey had a good route at the start. But this match was really close because Reed made
Yeah.
a very subpar decision partway through the match that pretty much pretty much lost him the match. So Reed was
Yeah.
going toward Lily Pad and accidentally eats the gold bird.
Right. Has
Um,
5 red coin shines right now. 6 reds is not clicked. He's
mhm,
ahead on the shine lead, like by far.
mhm. And then instead of just being like, all right, I opened the gold bird and going in still, he like decides he has to do the gold bird at that point.
Yeah. Costing the 6 reds, like
Yeah, and like
didn't net him that much.
it was weird. Like Reed even like we were talking post game about it, and he was like, "Yeah, that was like my original plan." And then once I ate the bird, I was like, "I guess I have to go do this." But like he could have done 6 reds. He would have been first into Serena with Yoshi unlocked, and could have got the one hidden and 7 red coins, and then put a
Yep.
lot of pressure on Larvey for row 4.
Right. Like you either do fruit ladies or hundreds and Noki.
Mm-hmm.
Like honestly, you get one fruit lady and then you go into Noki and start Noki hundreds, and then when your opponent clicks it, you like exit and do the
Oh,
others.
that's actually quite clever. That'd be a good counterplay to that.
Yeah.
Mm. But yeah, like.
Yeah, I think that was the crucial turning point of this match.
Mm-hmm.
Like Larby maybe could have won if he had still lost the 6 reds, but it would have been a lot tougher. Like because then Reed has a shot at row 1 and row 4
Mm-hmm.
that he wouldn't have had otherwise, or that he doesn't have on this card.
Yeah, like very much so.
Yeah.
Because you either force Larvey to have to do 300 coins, and even if you get like somehow got to Noki first to get that 100 coin,
Right.
then you still come down to Fruit Ladies if Reed had gone Serena right after red coins.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Definitely.
would have been interesting.
Yep. All right.
Let's see. We have Danny Mason.
We got Mason in green again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, another one like Danny just played well, outsped him, I think. But
Mm-hmm.
Mason like clearly has some control over the last 2 rows and like was really fighting for that row 1.
Mm-hmm. I think we were talking about this, right? And that he did like Pianta like super early on and like could have gone back for
Yeah.
the 20 blues and then
Yep.
just didn't end up doing that.
Right.
Which
Like
could have.
Mason had Pianta 3 done.
Mm-hmm.
And like all you need is 2 more shines and then the 20 blues are free in Pianta 6.
Yep. So he got the second piece mode in gelato. I'm
Yes, I
guessing
think
so.
that's the case. Which I yeah, like that goal just seems like a lot to commit to that early without much gain from it. Like I guess you get
Mm-hmm.
another 3 from 4, but yeah,
Potentially,
that's
yeah.
not great.
But yeah, Danny had like a pretty solid route here though. If you look at it,
Hmm.
the one hidden in Bianco and the four shines was good, which sets up for four hiddens later. He did the two hiddens in Rico, or not the four hiddens, the five hiddens. You get four shines from each of those levels, and then
Yep.
you opt for one of. I guess you opt for gelato at that point. You get
Right.
those two hiddens. You have your five hiddens, and then
And here's another 25 and 28 shines board. Like Danny, knowing he had the speed advantage, can just grab
mhm,
those.
yeah, very good.
Yep.
But like Mason, like pretty decent chance still.
Yeah. Put up a fight. Still in the tournament and losers. Like I think we'll see more good stuff
Mhm.
out of him.
All right, this was a cool match. So this was Briguy Guy.
Oh, interesting.
Wonder who
So I
Briguy
was
is.
blue. Yeah, I don't know who's that guy. This
Uh,
is one of the more colorful cards. Like 20 goals taken between us.
wow,
That's kind of crazy.
that is a lot of goals.
Yeah, two rows coming down to the last goal.
Mhm. So I believe so. This was like a very interesting dynamic on this card. So there's the one hidden in Bianco, and then the five blue coins and two rockets. Um,
Yes.
and Briguy, like, played the situation perfectly. You get the rocket and the or no, he didn't do that. So he went to Rico. He got the
Yeah.
three enemies there and the rocket, and then went back to Bianco because he knew that guy had clicked one hidden, and then he got his second rocket and the rest of the enemies there, and then was still in
Right.
Bianco to get the seven birds, which you were talking to
Yeah.
me that you thought that that might be important. So.
Yeah. So I was like in seven birds. I think so. My thought of going to Rico early is that, like, even if Guy follows me and does the same route, I didn't think he'd do it in the same way. I thought he would either get the Bianca rocket and enemies and then go to Rico, in which case I've got a Rico lead and like can carry that to four bosses, or pick up like the enemy in Rico 4 and go to Gelato. Like there were just a lot of different ways I could react with the start to
Hmm.
what Guy did, and I think that was really my goal this card. Like I was playing a very reactive game, which I don't think I normally do against. Like I scrim with Ramato a lot, and I played this one really differently than most games. I think
Hmm.
I just set up for every row and then just saw where Guy went, thinking he wouldn't delay click too much, and then just reacted accordingly.
Hmm. And you can see that because you had a pretty decent shot at like potentially getting each row on this card. Like it would have been hard,
Yeah,
but you were set up for like almost all five rows, and then at that point you just pick and choose your three.
exactly. Yeah. Like row 5 and row 1, I was both like relatively set up for. Like I hadn't been to Pianta yet,
But neither
so
had
I needed
Guy.
to get, yeah, neither had Guy, and like both bells was mine, I think. Like I had Yoshi, or at least I was closer.
Hmm.
No, I only had one shine out of Pinna, but so did Guy. Like Guy wasn't even in Pinna yet, so yeah, it was interesting. Oh no, I had two. I
Yeah, you,
defeated the
you got the
cannons.
cannonballs.
Yeah,
But yeah, Guy still had like a pretty good route on this card. Like he got the one hidden.
for sure.
Um, and like it was unfortunate that he followed you when you were doing the two rockets and the five enemies. Because like let's say he had gone like gelato at that point and
Yeah,
gotten just like three hiddens like outright, then he would have saved himself a lot of time in Rico, which in
right.
the end didn't net him anything and maybe got him the five hiddens
Yeah,
and set him up for nine from a single level. But he was
yeah,
down
that's
in
tough.
bosses, down
I
for
think the
shines.
real turning point was when Guy went for Gelato hundreds,
Hmm.
which like was fine but not great. Like he needed it for that row for sure. That row, like Guy got two goals and then I got the other three after that.
Hmm.
So he was trying to set up for the row, I think, but Gelato hundreds was just really slow. And then as soon as he clicked that, I knew I had a shine lead and a lot more freedom to go for other slower goals on my way to Noki.
Yep.
Like I switched over to secrets once I saw him click that, and then things like that.
Hmm. Yeah, I would agree with that. But yeah, Braga like played this card pretty well. It was pretty impressive to watch. I was.
Well, thank you. I'm hoping tomorrow I can put on a similar show.
Yeah, we will talk about that in a bit.
Oh, okay,
All right,
okay.
important match of the tournament: Oat
Oh
Flaker
dear.
versus Urinal Mike.
So Oat Flaker in purple on this card.
Oat Flaker in purple, getting 3 0'd by
Wow.
Toilet Michael. This
Yeah,
was
but really 3-2. But
3-2. Yeah,
yeah,
it was a shocker.
this
Brad and I were commentating this, and we were super impressed by Urinal Mike.
yes, it was just like the match started right, and then we were like, Oates got this, and then it was like, wait, Oates going to Serena, and then just slowly like Mike's route was coming together, and it just sort of built, and it's like, well, wait, Mike might have this.
uh-huh. Um.
Crazy.
So yeah, let's talk about this. So
Yeah.
Oatflaker started with the 4 Floodless. They actually both
Right.
did. Um. But Urinal Mike, sick like reaction to it. He had like an immediate game plan after like it got taken from
Yep.
him. He grabbed the rocket and then went Rico, which was like the perfect thing to do in that situation.
Hmm.
Um. And so yeah, the interesting thing, Oat went for Serena after finishing Bianco 4 Floodless.
Yes.
Um.
And he said his logic there was setting up for row four, which like I agree with. It does lock up row four, but you're just setting yourself back so far. Like we were talking about this with Serena earlier, that
Mhm.
it's tough. Like you get a goal out of row five, sure, but it just wasn't enough. Like he fell behind on the shine count and like lost bloopers to Mike and all the Noki progress. I know.
Mhm. Yeah, it set him up for row 4 well, but like it's still like getting 20 blues in Serena is one of the slower ones.
Hmm.
Um, no clipping either. No, yeah, you'd have to do that again basically because when you're in Serena 3 getting the 10, you're gonna grab the shine at the end of that. So,
Yeah.
um, and yeah, Urinal Mike's route like he got the 2 hidden in Rico, which set him up for 4 hiddens and 5 hiddens. Uh,
Right.
the Bianco 15 when we were commenting this, we actually like really didn't like the play, but then it ended up being like super smart because Oat went for totals at that point because he
Right.
was like scared, and it was really interesting.
Yeah, and that's one of those things. Like suboptimal plays in bingo can sometimes just make your opponent react in ways that like you don't expect. And then
Hmm.
turns out it was the best play you could have done
Yeah, and it
because there
wasn't
were
even
so
like.
many blue coin like goals on this card, and Oat really did the 55 total to because one from each was looking more like Mike's at that point.
Hmm. Well, I think
It was closer. Yeah.
it would have been closer. Maybe Oat thought he was farther behind on it, and that's why he thought totals was like significantly more important.
Right, but then as soon as Mike clicked off another goal, I can't remember what it was, but then Oat was like, "Oh, Shadow Mario and Pinna." Then Oat had to go back and like try to contest for row four. Just
You mean row
yeah,
3?
row three.
Yeah,
Counting's hard.
row 3 was like the turning point, and so Oatflaker probably still could have got away with like the W on this match because Urinal
Mhm.
Mike messed up Eel for a significant amount of time. Um,
Understandably so. Like
but yeah,
you're pretty nervous at that point.
hmm
Down the number two seed in the tournament.
yeah. But so
Yeah.
like Oat made the decision to go Bianco for his last butterfly, even though early on in the bingo he had done no damage. So all he had to do was
Hmm.
Pianta 4 and then go in for the butterfly, right?
Yep.
Um,
But
but yeah, he could have even
yeah.
followed Mike into like O's play was get the shine or up to the shine that you could get the 4th butterfly in and then go to Noki. And
Yep.
like if he had card committed to Noki, then he still would have been fine.
Yeah, and
Butterflies would
Oat
have
was
been
saying this after, like, he could have read Mike going to Rico or going to Noki just because, like, all three bloopers was on his route.
yeah, exactly. You have to either do that
Yeah,
or 28 shines, and
right.
if you can skip having to get whatever like 4 more shines,
Yeah,
yeah, that's useful.
true.
But yeah, this was a huge upset.
Yeah,
Um,
another one of the more interesting matches, worth watching, giving it another watch. Like,
hmm
yeah, some interesting decisions from both sides.
yeah, and it makes the bracket like super interesting now because
True.
Oat Oat has to win at least like double the matches he would have if he had won this in like
Right.
his next winner's match.
And he's going to get harder opponents too. Like the way the seeding works, right? Is that if you're number
Hmm.
two, you're supposed to play against easier players, and then like if you get sent to losers, you're going to be up against much harder players. So
Yeah.
yeah, Oates got a big road ahead of him for sure. And I think Also, messing with some other players' seedings, right? Like someone who expected to play Mike is now going to have to play Oat.
Yeah.
But if this match is anything to go by, maybe that's for the better. Maybe you really don't want to play Mike.
Yeah, dude.
Like he
You're.
routed this really nicely.
Mhm. And it shows like so skill and sunshine in general is obviously like a good thing to be like good at, but like you can still win with just strategy. Like the way you route cards, the way you like react to your opponents, the way you read your opponent,
Yep,
it's not all just like, "Oh, I'm fast and I'm good and I'm going to beat
true,
you." Like there's a
true,
lot involved in bingo. Uh
absolutely.
yeah, all right. So Deathline SB. So we saw this match in Scrim Week. SB is purple. Deathline is red.
Hmm.
Let me. What happened this match?
It was Deathline getting sniped to the gelato hiddens that really hurt. Like they both started out for Bianco 4 Floodless, which I think was fine. But yeah, Deathline just had a tough time racing SB there. Like lost that goal, which was fine, but then went to Gelato, grabbed one of the hiddens, and then started blues, which I really liked. Except unfortunately, just like didn't finish the blues fast enough to be able to get both hiddens before
Hmm.
SB got there.
Yeah, I actually don't remember watching much of this match because the restream was
Yeah, not the best
yikes.
quality. Yikes. Sorry about that one.
Hmm. Eh, happens. So what? So I
Indeed.
guess it looks like SB went Rico immediately after Bianco.
Yes, he dipped into Rico for a little bit, grabbed the 15 blues, and then made his way over to Gelato.
Hmm.
I think he might have grabbed 3 shines out of Rico, or maybe just the one or two. Yeah, I don't remember.
Possibly got the three for the three rockets later.
Hmm.
Um, then he's set up for 100 coin a secret in either Rico or Bianco. He has an extra
Yeah,
secret. Like,
yeah. Those two hiddens were a pretty big turning point because then like Pianta could have gone to Deathline at that point. They were both really close on that.
mhm.
Yeah, interesting match, but
All right,
yeah,
let's just
moving on.
go. Oh, so this is Ramato versus Libre.
Yeah,
Ramato was in orange.
Libre blue, purple. Another unfortunate misclick on a goal here. Libre thought he had 15 blues from M's. Unfortunately, had 14, and
Oh
then
yeah.
another blue that he forgot, and so clicked it like early with Ramato having 13 M's and going for his last two.
Mhm.
And Libre was like 10 seconds away from another M. If he had just waited and grabbed one more, like yeah, he just forgot his count there.
Mhm.
Might not have swayed the match, but definitely would have put him in a much better spot for row four.
Yeah. I so this looks like another similar situation to what happened with Libre's other match where he had two rockets and one turbo, and he didn't pick up the turbo.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure Ramato started with the one hidden. Um,
Yep. This
and
is another one where Libre could have definitely gone for that. What I really would have liked to see though is someone split the like blue coins and the hidden. Like Libre could have gotten a few blues and then started for the hidden, and if Ramato went for it, like won out the 20 blues in Bianco, and I think that snipe could have really thrown Ramato off.
mhm. Yeah, I do remember you were talking about that play where you get like maybe like 10 blues or something and then like make
Yeah,
your way
and then
toward
you
the
go for the
secret and
hidden,
then if they get the hidden then you just like
finish the blues.
well could you still even get away with like I guess not. You can't do 20 blues in Bianca that fast.
No.
But you might be able to get away with like doing 20 or like maybe like 10 and then you get the rocket in the turbo and then you go back in and finish the 20.
Yeah. Also a strong possibility. Yeah. And then you're ahead on rockets. Like if you delay click it just enough to get a start in Rico, then you win the rockets too. Like
Mhm. Yeah.
I think that's the play to shut down Ramato here
Yeah. It
because
was also
that's his favorite goal.
yeah.
One of them.
And the blues like we don't see blues very like super strong on row control
Yeah.
cards, but this card ridiculous. So you
Yep.
had three total goals. You had a goal where Romano literally got three blue coin goals. He got 12 from Delfino, 20 in Bianco, and 75 total.
Yeah,
Um,
and 20 Inoki was still in that row too.
yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely the strongest blue coin card we've seen.
hmm
Which just again unfortunate for Libre, like more of a shine based player
hmm
versus Ramato, who's like known for his blue coins. Yeah.
yeah. I forget what Libre even did after losing 2 rockets. Like, there was really like nothing he could have really done,
After the
but
15Ms, you mean?
or yeah, after the 15Ms.
Yeah, he was sort of out of it at that point.
hmm
I think he was in Pianta, but Ramato had the like and the lead and just went for totals.
Yeah.
It was tough. This
This
was
was
also the fastest bingo.
yep.
It was
Sub
like
40.
everything Ramato did, you can do super fast.
Yeah.
4 shines from Gelato was probably his slowest goal.
hmm And it wasn't
Yeah.
even like that bad because he combined it with his 3 hiddens for
Yep.
like insurance.
Crazy card, crazy match. Ramato's a fast dude.
All right. Actually, only one more match to talk about, and it's Popo versus Cheddar.
Indeed.
All right. So let's talk about this. So Cheddar again started with 100 coin and gelato.
Yeah. Cheddar and pink, Popo purple.
Yep. And it just like it set him back on a lot of things. Like
Hmm.
he was down in shines, which ended up being important because there's 9 and 10. We'll talk about that
Yeah.
later.
His
Um.
Chetty's route was great though. Like aside from that,
Mhm.
everything he did after that was really smart. Like he set up for Delfino shines, he set up for a bunch of stuff, and then just didn't follow through on it, unfortunately.
Mhm. Uh. But yeah, I think Popo just had like crazy shine lead. His route worked really well together. He didn't invest a lot of time into hundreds, which especially Gelato Hundo. Like Gelato Hundo is definitely one of the ones you don't want to have to do. Maybe
Yeah,
outside of like Serena 1, but uh
definitely.
what? Oh, so this was like super interesting. So like Chetty had 2 goals in row 5, right?
Hmm.
Um and Popo had like a sick double click of he got 4 secrets and 28
Yeah,
shines, and there was so much pressure on Cheddar because he had to compete the 4 shines in Serena, and he had to somehow still get 2 from 5. And then at that point, Popo just went back and got his last shine
yeah,
and finished that
yeah.
one
That was
out.
tough. I think this really came down to row two, though. Like Chetty could have had it, but just decided to wait super long on Delfino shines.
Uh
So
huh.
Popo started doing them before Chetty did. Because like if he had gone back and started doing Delfinos earlier, you win 9 from Plaza and then 25 total as well.
Yeah, I think we were talking about this. Like Cheddar could have done Delfino shines a lot earlier. Like the like doing straight up Delfino shines into Serena. Like that could have worked out really well for him because he would have got secrets.
Hmm.
Um, you might not be perfectly ahead on the shine lead at that point, but even then, you still did 10 Delfino shines. Like that's a lot of shines.
Yeah, well, 11 Delfino shines.
Uh,
Yeah. So another unfortunate piece of this match. Paper and I mean, I'll take most of the blame on this one. I started it, but they opened their Z menu and we thought that Airstrip was part of the Delfino shines.
hmm
Um, yeah,
We had them mixed up with blue coins because if you get blue coins, they go in there in your counter.
right. Like
Um,
if you turn in blues, they go towards your Delfino shines, and the Airstrip blue also shows up as a Delfino blue, or no? Is that separate on Airstrip?
it's a Delfino blue.
Yeah. So those are all merged, but
Yeah, and
yeah, just
we were commentating, so it's like it's hard to keep track of how many Delfino shines each player has done while you're like
right.
looking at everything else. So, but
Yep.
yeah.
So that resulted in us unclicking 9 shines when each player got it, but then they got that goal with their 10th shine, and then got 10 shines with their 11th. Um, Popo like had the 9 shines first, anyways,
hmm
but yeah, the match might have played out slightly differently, but we do think Popo like was pretty set up for both row 4 and 5, and like just clearly had such a goal advantage here that
hmm
that goal or that click probably didn't change too much. But yes, that led to a new policy. So if runners think their goals are contested, or if commentators think a goal is different, calling for a pause on the match,
Mm-hmm.
working it out with the runners, and then resuming after that. So something to keep in mind going forward.
Uh, yeah. Hold on. I'm trying to do a cool thing. If I can find
All
it.
right. Okay.
Just wait
I'm
real.
waiting. I'll keep talking. Those were some hype matches, and
Okay. I think I got
oh,
this.
okay.
Wait, did I already transitions? Okay, okay,
No,
okay.
no,
You
we're
ready?
still here.
You ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
I did it!
Whoa! I haven't seen it yet. Whoa!
Whoa!
Whoa! All right.
um all right, so that was week 2, or like basically the last 2 weeks of matches. Um so we have some topics, so
Mm-hmm.
we're going to talk about, the new cards, and like the whole switching cards mid format. We're going to talk about some of the best and worst worlds, because we see a lot more of other worlds in rogue control than I think we see of others. And then
Yeah.
we're going to do quick look at the bracket. We're going to talk about some players and some matches that are coming up, and we're going to go from there.
Perfect.
um so Briguy, tell me all the
Yeah.
things about the new cards.
Right. So okay. So let's back up. Ramato and I developed this bingo variant, this 1v1. We start with the normal goals list from the like 2v2 tournament, and we cut down a lot of things to make it just wrap up in roughly the same time as a 2v2 game, but for one-on-one. So this involved like removing late Serena, removing late Gelato, um, and just sort of condensing goals, reducing some of the numbers, like adding in some things like 3 bosses. But we also added in some other experimental stuff. So we tried like a 15 shines goal, which we thought would be kind of interesting, like giving you a marker halfway for your shine count. We added in 10 lives, which was
What?
like
10
um,
lives?
10 lives. It was interesting until we found a broken, it was like super broken in row control, because you spawn in plaza, you like go, you do clip out of bounds, you get 2 lives, then you open the
You open
front of
Bianca.
plant,
Yep.
clip out of bound, get 2 lives, down Shadow Mario, like and then
Yeah,
pick up the
that's.
shine, clip out of bound, right? So
Hmm.
it was a little too strong in row control. Um, and we tried 2 100 coins from a secret level, which I think is sort of interesting routing wise, but kind of sucked whenever you wanted to go for it, because you would just spend like 8 minutes getting 100 coins from secret levels.
Yeah, that sounds real fun.
Yeah, so we were coming up with this tournament, deciding on the format, modifying the variant, um, and we were like, okay, what goals need to go? Should we add anything else? And so we chopped off those goals that I just talked about because they all had their problems. Um, and that I think changed the way the cards were generated a little bit. But this was like right before the tournament was starting,
Mhm.
and so we had seen some of the tourney cards, but like didn't have quite enough experience with them. And as the tourney was going on, we realized that like, so the way Bingo Sync works in rough terms is you split things into 25 difficulty categories, like quote unquote difficulty. Um, and it tries to pull a goal from each category and not match things with the in the same row. Like it won't put 50 total and 70 total in the same row, or like 6 shines from Rico and 2 hiddens from Rico. Hopefully, those might end up. But um, the so we realized that 20 difficulty 24 only had 3 things in it, and one of them was 25 shines, and difficulty 25 only had 3 things in it, one of them was 28 shines, which just meant that like one of those 2 goals appeared on almost every card, and a lot of cards had both of those goals on it, which made late game very strong and sort of the cards not as interesting to route. Then on top of that, we noticed that like we had accidentally removed 15 blues from Pianta, which is an interesting goal. And blue coins seemed weak on these cards, as we saw generally. There was only that one card that Ramato versus Libre was really good.
Yep.
And Pianta is also pretty weak. Maybe that's dipping into topic number 2 a little bit.
Hmm.
So adding in that goal. could be good. Um, but yeah, so this update is to fix that generation issue. So now 25 and 28 shines can't appear together. They'll still come up pretty often, but not like on the same card. And adding back a few more goals. So
Yeah,
we think it won't change much in terms of generation. Like it really shouldn't. The goal list is basically the same. They're just that small swap happened.
yeah. Um, and to be honest, I think it was like I was a fan of what the swap was doing, right? Because it was
Hmm.
designed to make cards more interesting, because Pianta really was not very relevant. Like, oop,
Sure.
oops, I did it bad.
Though I don't
Okay.
know how relevant it like oh I'm gone. How
Whoops.
relevant it will be now. Like I don't know if one goal is enough,
I
right?
don't.
And like if it's gonna appear on enough cards to do anything.
Mhm. I don't think it's significantly better, but I would say that it makes Pianta, it's sometimes more relevant now because
Sure.
it's just one extra goal. Because
Yes.
like Pianta was really only good for like no damage and like it's not even
Five
like
shines, maybe.
but I haven't even seen that goal once yet.
Yeah.
Um,
It was on like one or two of the cards, I think. Yeah.
but yeah, like and like if like the other goals in Pianta are like episode 7, which you don't really want to do unless you have to. Like
Yep.
Piazza was just pretty like weak overall.
Right.
And the other thing that was nerfed sort of was shines, right? We were talking about it earlier how the shine lead was like super
Yeah.
super important, right? Because it just means you're first into Noki, first into Pinna.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, see, I think it's still going to be super, super important because,
oh,
like,
it still is important, but like because
yeah,
like I would I
Nokia
would call
head
it
to head.
positioning, right?
Yeah.
When you're in a better position to access different things, then you just have so many more options you can choose from, and it opens up a lot of things that you can just
Right.
do.
Right. I think it's really interesting in this though. Like, you don't want to have too much of a shine lead because, like, if you do, that means you've been doing Delfino shines or like not getting as much progress as you maybe should have.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you want to just be slightly ahead of your opponent in shines, and that's really hard to gauge just based off of goals that have been clicked.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess roping it back to the topic, I was sort of like I was pushing pretty hard against this change. Like I'm really not a fan of changing things mid tourney, but the more I thought about it, and then that's I guess why we opened it up to a vote. Like one side of me was like, yes, these new cards are gonna be better, but the other side of me is like, do we really want to change this in the middle of the tourney? What if the new cards aren't as great? Like, does this then like rebias the way matches are happening? Right? Like if Shine Lead was super relevant before, and then all of a sudden like blue coins become super good,
Mm-hmm.
that changes what players are good at the format, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that. I had quite a few hesitations, but it seemed like most people were in favor of the change, and so that's why we ended up going for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you can always make the argument that like, oh well, this new type of format, maybe favors this sort of player,
Sure.
um, and things just become interesting at that point, whether you want to allow the switch or not. But
Yep.
I think it's a good switch because it just makes the format more interesting,
Yeah,
and
I think so too.
or maybe not even more interesting, but more complex, to where
Yeah.
there's
Well, that's the hope.
it's just more balanced.
Yeah, or I guess just like maybe more entertaining, even right? Like if there's 25 and 28 shines on the same card, and then someone's just rushing Delfino shines, and we see that every match, that's not as interesting to watch as like someone going for different sets of goals, right?
Yeah.
And like trying to more carefully balance their shine count and going for more level goals. So we'll see how that plays out, if it has any effect or not. But yeah,
Um. Okay. Hmm. So let's talk about some worlds and synergies, right, Briguy? So,
sure, sure. Let's see.
um,
So you came up with this topic. Like, what do you have in mind here? What sort of prompted this?
um, I just think like it's important to talk about which worlds we think are like super good and super broken, like what we see a
Yeah,
lot in cards, like what just like if there's like one world that you had to go to blindly, just like you didn't
right.
know anything about the card and you were just like, I'm gonna make an assumption that this is important.
Oh,
Um,
paper.
What?
Row control, but the card gets revealed 20 minutes into the match. No. But
uh, I made
yeah.
like I made like a somewhat joke about like you play row control, like you take like a really good player and like maybe like a not so good player, and the good player can't see the card, but the bad player can, and
Oh.
then you have one person that clicks the goals for them. So,
That sounds super entertaining.
um,
Anyways, though, yeah, like what world would I go to if you couldn't see anything?
mhm. Or just like what
Yeah.
synergies of worlds like are even sometimes good because I
Yes.
I think one of the like the biggest synergies that we've seen so far is just like Bianco and Rico
Bianco to Rico.
because
Yep. 100%. You do Bianco 2, you do Bianco 3, you do Rico 1, 2, and then you're set up for bosses, rockets, enemies, like
2 from 5,
2 from 5, hiddens, 3 from 4. Like,
like just so good.
yeah.
And especially because we see bosses quite a bit in this format because there's what a 3, 4, 5, and 6,
Yeah, there are.
and then
And I
there's
think
also
they're,
4 unique at least.
yeah, they're, I think we took out 5 unique.
Yeah.
Um, but I think 3, 4, 5, and 6 are also different. Like maybe 3 and 4 are kind of close, but
Oh yeah, but definitely 4, 5, and then 6 are
like
really
yeah, they're all
different.
just such big jumps and things you have to commit to in routing and yeah, and we've seen cards where like one player gets 4 bosses and the other gets 6. Like it's no guarantee. It doesn't build as well as like red coins build, in my
Hmm.
opinion.
Yeah, because most of the bosses like you can access immediately. 4 bosses are in
Yeah.
episode ones, and then if
Yep.
you have access to Noki, then you have another 2 and 4 shines, which is pretty good
Right.
value.
Yep.
Um,
And then Wiggler is like there, but it's gated behind the terrible Gelato 2.
mhm.
But it's also like a 3 from 4. So, yeah, I think the bosses are pretty interesting. But yeah, Bianco to Rico seems to be just the play on these cards almost always.
uh, yeah. Okay, so then what do you think are like really bad things to go for in row control?
Surrender whenever.
Yeah.
I'm calling it now. I think it's run its course. Like I think there are cards where it's relevant, but I think it's got to be like one of your last goals, and I think Oat showed that it's just
Yeah, I think it's either a mid-game type of thing or like if you set up a win condition around
yeah.
Serena, right, or whatever.
I think the
Because
issue is though, like if you're going mid game, Pinna's so good. Like that's maybe one of the other worlds that would be up there.
mhm.
That you're usually pretty close to Yoshi, and like yeah, I think Serena one whenever can be great. If you're doing Manta as your last boss, like that can work, and then you come back later. But
Yeah, I would. Because like
yeah,
doing Manta, it's not really like the greatest thing to do. Like you don't ever want to do Manta like when you don't have
no,
to.
yeah,
Because like a 3-minute shine, you can get 4 or 5 Delfino shines in that time.
right. It's pretty crazy.
Um,
But one from each is a thing, right? And then like
one from each. That's pretty
bosses,
strong.
yeah, interesting. But yeah, I think Pianta, as we were talking about, is also can be weak, but Pianta early Pianta is decent. There's like hundreds that are fast, and 2 from 5 is pretty good there. Like the first 3 shines are fine, even the 4. Like it's available anytime, but yeah, usually not the best to go to. It's
Hmm.
just hard to pass up the like Bianco Rico Gelato
Yeah, I think those are definitely like the strongest parts. And then you lead all of those like into Pinna basically
Independent. Yep. But I think
because
that's been the really crucial thing. It's like how do you get to Pinna and who's first into Pinna, right?
yep.
Like you just want to be one step ahead of your opponent in there, but that's tough. Like yeah, trying to figure out where they went. Uh,
Uh okay. I mean, so is there any other do we want to talk about like where we think row control is going toward, especially with like some of the new cards and
interesting.
stuff? Um
Yeah. I don't
what's
know that I
like
have an answer towards that. Let me think.
I guess like so what strategies do you think have like not been explored a
Hmm.
lot yet? Because like we've seen like the reactive play style, we've seen just the
Yeah,
kind of ways you approach the card, like the 3 row, the 4 row, the
right. I'm wondering if there's just something that like we haven't thought of yet, right? Like
hmm
if there's a way to do this that's just like totally out of left field or something that we're not thinking
just
of yet.
yeah, the no one's thought of. That would just be
Right,
like really good potentially.
right. And I also wonder, like, a lot. I said this during one of our commentaries, but a lot of the matches we've seen so far are pretty one-sided. Just the nature.
Oh, there goes Bright Guy.
Oh, did I
Oh,
did I
there you
cut out
go.
there?
There you go. You just like froze and then like you started cutting out, and I was like, oh no. Wait, are you still?
Uh,
Uh, uh okay. You're moving. You're moving. Okay, I think it's good.
okay, maybe.
Yeah. I heard everything
I
you were
feel like
saying
I'm
for it.
streaming Deathline versus SB right now.
No, I think you're fine right now.
Okay, it doesn't sound fine to me.
Oh. Uh-oh. Brag
Uh
guy.
oh.
Brag guy. Do you hear me?
No.
God dang it. We were so close. Well, I
Oh.
guess.
Okay.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello? You're not moving. Okay, I see you move, Brag guy.
I'm moving. I'm moving, paper.
Okay.
All right. Well, sorry about that. Yes, what I was saying was we were talking about this in commentary. I think a lot of the matches so far have been just one sided. Like that's the nature of how brackets get seated like this.
hmm
So I think going into the next few rounds, we're gonna see what strategies like really develop as the top strategies.
hmm Yeah.
Um, yeah, I really don't know what's best. I think it's so matchup dependent. Like the best thing that I can see right now is information. If you know what your opponent has done, then you can pretty accurately predict where they're going, and all you need is one crucial goal to just flip the whole match.
Yep.
Like if they think they're going to get a row, if you just pull the one goal that they're counting on, then that's yours. Like you've won that row, and then they have no progress towards your other two.
hmm Yeah. Like that's like definitely like important. Like let's say like they click like one goal in a row and like they're setting up for this second goal, but like you're set up for like these other two, and then you get the goal that they're trying to get, then
Yeah,
that's like super strong.
yeah. I've also been really interested in the like baiting strategies. Like you pulled one out earlier today,
hmm
and I think like Mike versus me, we sort of saw that. Like there are ways in which you can set up for a row, like even grab one goal, two goals in it, make it look like you're going for that, and then just go take something that the opponent has been counting on. While they invest a lot of time into the row that you just set up for, you can take some of their easier stuff,
hmm
and that also seems pretty powerful.
Yeah. To talk about the situation you were mentioning, so I was playing Larvae earlier today. Um, and like I was gonna go for red coins, but there was lily pad on the card, so I picked up lily pad, um, and clicked it like at some point like after Larvae had clicked another goal in that row, and it made him think that I wanted row 5 when I had no interest in it, and so he invested time in doing 2 more Serena shines, and in that time
Mm-hmm.
I got all the way up to Noki, and there was little hope for our boy.
Yep. True. True.
Um, But yeah, I think we might see baiting a little more as rounds go on and people are like more comfortable with it. Because like right now
Yeah.
it's like you think about like, oh, my opponent can get these rows and I can get these rows, or how do I stop this? But then you might get to a dynamic where it's like, oh, I could get this row, and so by getting like this goal, maybe they think that I want this row, and then you just like pull a different thing out, and then
Exactly. Exactly.
um
Interesting. Well, we'll see where that goes. And going off of that, I guess let's hop into what are these upcoming matches that we keep talking about.
all right, I'm gonna try to make this work. All right, let's see if I can make this happen. All right, does this look good? I can't see it right now.
I'm 5 seconds behind you. It looks, yeah. I'm
Really?
with it.
Dang. Okay, I made this during our talk, so epic. Um.
Nice.
All right, so we have the bracket pulled
You might
up.
need to scroll over a little more if you want to see the current round. Like we're seeing round 1 and 2
Well, yeah,
clearly, but not.
I'll move that. Um.
Okay.
So yeah, so we've had these rounds happen. We're at winners round 3 now. Um. So that's happening this
Yes.
week in addition to winners round 2. So there's still a lot of matches to come up.
Oh yes. Gonna
Um.
be crazy. I think it's still in the loser side. There's a lot of one-sided matches. I guess we'll get there. Do we want to do winners first, or are we coming back for that?
I guess we'll do winners.
Okay.
God, I
I
don't.
got my money on paper for paper Larby.
No way, dude. I have my money there too. God dang it. Okay, hang on. I have an idea. All right,
Sorry,
let me
my
just.
internet's dying again. All right.
Wait, did I not switch? Oh, okay, never mind. I see. I see. Okay. Okay. All right. Now I can see everything.
All right. Awesome. you've covered me up with the profile main.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. Yeah, I was not prepared for this one, but yeah. So I beat Larvae earlier today, so this match has already happened. Um, but we still got Danny Briguy coming up, and this is one of the more interesting matches in just the whole entire tournament. Um,
Yeah. I'm super hyped for this. I hope my internet lets me talk about it. Here, wait, let me try it. I might be right back.
all right. In the meantime, I'll just talk about this match. So I think Danny Briguy is super interesting, right?
Okay, I'm here.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe better.
Come on. Come back, Briguy. Come back.
Come on. Come on. Okay. No. Yes. No. Professional recap show right here.
Professional.
All right, you go ahead.
Okay. But I think they're like very like parallel like kind of play styles. So like Briguy's like super into the strategy and kind of like how you go about row control. Danny's super into
Yeah.
the speed, but like also Danny knows like a lot of bingo stuff from playing Ramato a lot. So
Right. I think we're sort of flipped. Like I know bingo, right? I know how to do
mhm,
all the bingo goals. I know good routes for all the blue coins and like yada yada. But I'm definitely slower at them than Danny is. But I think like I've got the routing and he's obviously got good routing, but slower than or like
mhm.
not as strong as what I've got.
Have you played Danny yet?
No.
Huh.
So this is gonna be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think I
I'm
have.
super looking forward to this. And this happens
I
tomorrow,
am too.
right?
Tomorrow, yeah, about 12 hours from now, 12 hours and change. No, never mind, longer than that.
It's like
But yes, tomorrow, 2
got
p.m.
it. 2 p.m. EST.
EST.
EST. Epic.
Epic.
All right. So because Urinal Mike made the upset over Oatflaker, um, he's seeded to fight SB now.
Hmm.
Um, and we're gonna have to see. Like SB,
Yeah.
like SB now definitely like understands row control. He's played Deathline a couple times now. He's played me. Um, and we had like a
Yes.
good like post discussion match where I tried to teach him some stuff. So.
Hmm. I think SB was one of the ones that like hadn't had much experience, but now like as soon as he gets it, he's gonna be really really scary.
Mhm. And
And so
now
this
that.
is gonna be really tough for Mike. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, before SB like seeded to fight Ode at this point, like, and then going down into losers, he would have had to play like other tough people. And not to
Right.
say like sleep on Urinal Mike or whatever, but like,
Yeah, I mean, but okay, like let's back up a step, right? This was our attitude going into the Mike Oat match. We were like,
I
this is a
this is
stomp.
true.
This is not going to be close. And then Mike like pulled out a fantastic route. Like the only goal I saw him struggle with was 15 blues and Bianco. He was able to do everything else no problem. Like
Hmm.
not as fast as SB can do it, but still fast enough. And I think with some good routing choices and good reads, like he made right calls based on what Oat had clicked to go do other
Hmm.
things. And if he can pull out that strategy against SB, I think he's got a decent shot too.
Yeah, definitely a player to watch out for. Urinal Mike is a
Yes,
scary man.
right. I think this might be the most underseeded or the biggest sleeper pick of the tourney. Like Urinal Mike looking pretty strong right now, but
And what,
we'll see.
loser of 33? So even then, he goes down to losers, and the
Hmm.
person that would be seeded to fight him is Reed.
Right.
And like that's definitely, I mean, not to like sleep on Reed either, we're just
Yeah.
stating our opinions right now, but like that's definitely a match that he can win.
Right.
Like,
Right.
and then that would get him to top 8, which is a lot
Crazy.
better than he was, expected to do. So
Yeah.
it's real crazy.
Definitely.
Ramato Popo.
Yeah. I like Popo's just super variable.
Hmm.
Like I think he sometimes plays fantastic and sometimes just doesn't prioritize the right things.
Hmm.
And Ramato has just shown nothing but consistency. Although sometimes takes a little bit of risks with delay clicks. I think that's maybe the one place that Popo could trip him up. But
Hmm.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think Ramato's got
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I
Like
think.
honestly, yeah, I'm more confident in the Ramato pick than I am in the SB pick over
Hmm.
Urinal Mike.
I can see that. Um, but yeah, I definitely think Ramato is the embodiment of consistent this tournament so far. Like
Yeah.
the players he's lost to, like he's lost to me. I mean, I'm 3-1 against Ramato. I think he's got a winning record against Danny. I, are you guys
Yeah.
tied against?
Me and Ramato are pretty close. Yeah. Like
Hmm.
came down to the last goal, but I think he's maybe on the newer cards, like since the tourney started, probably 3-2 against me or something.
Hmm. But yeah, it's like he's shown that he can win against anyone, and he doesn't have like bad losses or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I've never seen a blowout against Ramato. They've always come down to like one goal either
yeah,
direction. Like, yeah, I think he's one of the strongest.
but yeah, and that will take us to winners top 8.
Wow.
Like getting through the
Yeah,
tournament.
that's true. That's our goal. 1 month from now, we hope to be at like 3 people left.
Three
So,
people. Um,
well, we're hoping for that.
all right, so losers rounds. So
Mm,
let's go through the ones that we think will be, more one-sided.
sure.
So, I think Libre Yato should be one-sided.
Should be, but Yacho showed some good stuff as we were talking about in the rematch, and like Libre made some questionable decisions against Blood Whale, and so I think I also agree like Libre should have this,
Mhm.
but I think Yato's got some potential.
Mhm.
I give it like 90-10, maybe 80-20,
I'll
somewhere
give
around
it
there.
like an 8, or maybe like an 85-15. Right
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
mid, right in the middle.
Okay, I'll
Um,
take it.
I guess we shouldn't call them the blowouts. We should call them like some of the like not closer matches.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh, oh, Nurgish.
yeah. I
Yes. Sorry, Nurgish, but Oat is gonna bring his A game this time. I mean, Nurgish just had a rough road, right? Like Guy into Oat.
Yeah, that's just
That's
not fun.
just
And who do you
oh
have to play before that?
no, that was it.
Oh, that was it.
Or yeah,
Oh,
because Guy got seated low.
that's
Yeah, it
not
was
even a bad O2. That's just not
yeah.
like.
Like I would not be surprised if I went 0-2 against those opponents. Like
Mhm.
they're both really good.
Mhm.
Yep.
Um, I mean, so this match already happened, but this match would have been
Yeah,
probably one
it
of
went as expected.
Um, but yeah, I think every other match in
Everything
losers
else,
is pretty like okay.
yeah.
I think
I think
Cheddar
everyone's got a
Pogo
shot.
I think this is still in
I think
Cheddar's favor.
yeah, I think Chetty's got it quite a bit. Like Pogo just didn't. He showed up in Scrim Week, but against the first match against RSW, just seemed a little
Yeah,
not as strong.
the gameplay was definitely somewhat lacking. Um,
Yeah, and Cheddar's made some strange routing decisions, but he's consistent.
this is true. Um,
Deathline, Linky. I feel like Deathline's got this
Deathline is
pretty good.
out for blood right now, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, he's like ready, and I think Linky has not been as hard on the practice as well. I guess Deathline hasn't been practicing either, right? But he's been much more in tune with the tournament and watching how row control works, and I think that advantage is going to be huge.
Knowledge is
Like
power.
Linky didn't scrim week; he's played one game, and yeah, I think Deathline has probably got that.
Mm-hmm. Uh, Guy odd me. Assuming this match happens,
Mm-hmm.
like
I think,
Guy.
yeah, that might even go into the like 80-20, 90-10 category. Like, guy's super good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Guy's got like pretty decent skills and like everything. Like he's relatively
Yep.
fast. He's got relatively good routing, relatively good decision making.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't think
Agreed.
Oddme has played like any SMS, and apparently his bingo is questionable.
Well, we'll see. Maybe.
Maybe, but uh, we'll see. Guy should have like pretty decent time here. But yeah.
I think so.
Um, Reed Bloodwell,
Ooh, this might be the closest match of losers.
possibly.
Possibly. Like, Blood Whale looked good against Libre, except just not knowing the blue coins. But Reed also with the questionable decisions. Like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Reed
I
just
know
has to.
Blood's been playing. Like, Blood has been scrimming since that match with Libre.
He has been scrimming, but I don't know if like Bloodwell is like learning how to do things.
Yes.
Like
Yes. And I think that's what's crucial. Like, all he needs is like 5, 10 blue coin routes or something.
yeah,
Like, maybe five, right? Just
literally
know the
just
20 in every level,
yeah.
and then you're set.
That really is all it takes. You just have to know. You, like
Yeah.
even just knowing where every blue coin is just super useful. Cause
Yeah.
like
You don't even need all of them, right? Like, there's a good 100 that you almost never see in bingo.
that
Maybe 50 to 60,
yeah,
right? It's just like, but yeah, agreed.
but yeah. It's always just like if you just know where stuff is, or even if you know like a couple extra, like say you know like 22 in a level, like
Yep.
that's just super powerful. Like
Hmm. Exactly. And we've cut out all the 25 goals and the 30 from a single level. Like, you don't need those. 20s, I guess 25 in Rico is maybe still in there, and 25 in Pinna. But everywhere else, it's like 15 or 20.
15 or 20, yeah.
Yep. And then RSW Zophos, hard to say. Like, honestly,
This should
I
be
think
this should be closest,
I
but
think it'll be close. It's just I think the winner of Reed Blood Whale is going to be pretty set up to beat the winner of RSW Zophos.
hmm well,
But we'll
I don't
see.
know. Blood RSW is not actually that great in Bloodwell's favor. They've scrimmed
That's
before,
true.
and I
They
think
have screwed.
RSW has like the record right now.
Yeah, I think these are kind of mirror matches, or like the opposite, right? Like Reed Blood Whale, they're fast but don't know as much bingo,
Uh huh.
and then RSW Zophos, they like know where things are but have
Are
a
not as fast.
slower read.
hmm
Yeah, so that'll be an interesting match in losers round
hmm
3. But yeah,
Uh, but yeah, that's all of the upcoming matches. So
wow, crazy.
let's talk about the players that we should like watch, right? So obviously, Urinal Mike up there,
You're on the mic.
definitely crazy player.
Yep.
Um,
Number 2, Guy.
yep.
He's gonna just stomp this losers bracket, I think.
hmm Goes into MD Mason and then loser of 34, so Ramato Popo.
Yeah, and I give Guy over Popo any day, I think. But I guess maybe Popo's someone to watch. Not necessarily like he's gonna go like super far, but I think he can go either way
hmm
pretty easily. Like, he might fall super flat, or he could beat Ramato. Like, I honestly don't know.
hmm Taking Ramato down is a pretty hard task though, but
True, true. But I would have
hey,
said the same about Out.
I just we would have thought.
Yeah,
We would have thought.
row control.
Row control, ladies and gentlemen. Um,
Yeah,
I
I think
think
those are my top picks.
definitely the top picks. I think that Paper Arya guy, he's kind of a slept on
Oh,
pick.
well, true. Keep your eyes on him. He's gonna lose to Briguy in winners round 4.
Yeah, honestly,
Hmm.
I would take that L. I'll take that one.
Oh, you will. You will. I gotta get through
Yo,
tomorrow first, though. I'm more worried about Danny.
yo, Brad guy's got this whole notebook just of notes on me. He's
Oh yeah,
prepared.
paper. I've been listening to all your commentaries, writing down which goals you like. No, no, but let's see.
This man's got a 5-page paper analysis.
Oh
Paper
man, the
paper analysis.
paper. Yep.
uh,
All right.
oh, oops, wrong thing. Hang on. I got this. I got this. All right, all right, all right, all right. Uh, shit.
Uh, uh, uh.
There we go. Had to get the transition in.
Oh, I'm still waiting for it. Whoa.
Definitely worth.
Ah.
But
All
yeah.
right. There we go.
Uh, I think that is all for this Pape recap show. There'll be
Hmm.
another one in I think a week. Doing these on Tuesday nights. Um, I will always be here. Maybe we'll have some other guests. Who knows?
We'll see.
Um,
To be determined. Well, thank you for having me, Paper. It's been a pleasure to talk bingo as always.
anytime, Brad Guy. Sure, we'll have more bingo talks and discussions. Brad Guy and I
Oh
have a lot
yes.
to talk about. Um, but until then, stay tuned. Match tomorrow,
Oh yeah. 2 p.m.
2 p.m. And yeah, thanks for watching the first paper recap show. I'll see you folks around. Later, Sunshine Community.
See ya.